Give it up, gonna be alright, gonna be. Give it up, gonna be alright. Give it up, gonna be alright. Give it up, gonna be alright. All night, alright. With you, why do you gotta? All night, alright. You're so slow. Give it up, gonna be alright. All night, alright. With you, why do you gotta? All night, alright. You're so slow. Give it up, gonna be alright. Give it up, gonna be alright. Give it up, gonna be alright. All night, alright. With you, why do you gotta? All night, alright. With slow. Give it up, gonna be alright. All night, alright. With you, why
Good afternoon. All right. All right. Thank you for coming to our program. On behalf of East End High School, we're a pleasure to welcome you to our inaugural Black History Month panel, Leading with Purpose, Our Story, Our Strength, and Our Legacy. Now to express our deepest gratitude and the collaboration, preparation, and support made to have this assembly wonderful, I invite Ms. Jones to express our heartfelt thank you.
As Mr. Johnson has already expressed, thank you so much for being here, staff, students, as well as our highly esteemed panelists and guests. We are extremely grateful to the Clinton Foundation for opening their doors to us today. This year marks 100 years of Black history being celebrated nationwide thanks to Mr. Carter G. Woodson. What an amazing way to commemorate such a profound moment in history with today's event. Last, but certainly not least, I offer a special thank you to the visionary of this momentous occasion, Ms. Nicole Griffin. She is the reason all of us are here today. And you all have already given her a hand. I was going to ask you all to do that, but honor was already given. But we're going to welcome her up to the stage at this time, and thank you.
Good afternoon. Can you all hear me? Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Ms. Jones. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Mr. Johnson, you're awesome. Family, friends, faculty and staff, and community partners, and honored guests. Today is a moment of intention. The purpose of this panel and this assembly is not just an assignment, it goes beyond history. It is to give every student a room, a living, breathing, unforgettable experience rooted in leadership, resilience, responsibility, and service. This is where our stories become lessons, our strengths become direction, and our legacies become the next generational of foundation and truth. We are living in a time where young people need to see real examples of leadership, not just hear about them. So today you'll hear stories of perseverance, of sacrifice, of community care, of purposeful determination. This panel gives them that, each and every one of you. Be ready to receive social and emotional growth, civic awareness, identity development, leadership formation, and literally living legacies. I would like to recognize Dr. Nick Patterson, our CEO, Dr. Janice Page, Dr. Jesse Forster, Dr. Melissa Gray, Jana Young, Kelvin Johnson, Dr. Tiffany Gibson, Bakita Jones, and other staff that's here today. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, students. Thank you, support staff. Thank you, volunteers. Without you, none of this would be possible. So let's give yourselves a round of applause. We would like to recognize the Clinton Presidential Center and the Clinton Foundation staff. Thank you so much for allowing us to have this wonderful and beautiful event here. To our community partners, the Clinton Foundation, Chick-fil-A on Markham and University, City Connections, the Church at Rock Creek, Sam Woods from AT&T, Kwame Abdul-Bey from the NAACP, J Strong Productions, family and friends, and others that gave. Thank you for your generosity. And now we come together in history, identity, community, and purpose. Will everyone stand for the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, performed by our very own Lennox Milton from East End High School. Clap it up for Lennox.
Y'all can hear me good? Is it on? Is it on?
Lyrics.
Lift every voice and sing till the heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let us resound loud as the rolling sleep. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day become. Let us march on till victory has won. Let us march on till victory has won.
Yes, Lennox. Beautiful. Man, I sounded afraid and scared.
One, two, check.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Before we begin, I want to introduce our host, Joseph Broadway Joe Booker. Broadway Joe began broadcasting in the military in 1976 and built a decades-long career shaping Central Arkansas radio. He served in senior program and leadership, created signature community events, and helped raise major support for local causes through service. He reminds us that influence is most powerful when it leaves something behind for others. Broadway Joe, thank you for leading our conversation today.
And let me introduce my co-host, and that is the lovely Kennedy Wilburn, who is a student. Kennedy is a ESTEM student, a leader, and part of the team that's helped to bring in this inaugural panel to life today. Kennedy serves as an assistant event planner, chief of staff, and she's active in the Young Ladies That Lead leadership organization, and she uses public speaking to inspire and uplift others. Today, she represents what this panel is really about: students stepping into purpose, voice, and responsibility in real time. Kennedy. Before we start, I want to just a brief moment for our panelists here, and I want to say that we had nothing to do with the women being on one side and the men on the other side. We had nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. They just kind of sat like that. We will have 3 rounds of student-led questions. These questions comes from the students, and just for clarity, we're going to give each of our panelists time to answer each of the questions. And our first round will be on their story. Our second round will be on their strengths, and Our third round will be on their legacy. Now, there are a few rules for you panelists. We ask you to please keep in mind that you only have 2 minutes. And I know with all that you have going and these long bios that you have, but we only have 2 minutes because we want to keep things on time here. So with all that being said, we'll go back to our first guest. Oh yeah, I got the first one too. Okay, I'm really moving here. I got the first person. So our first panelist, our first guest is the Honorable Mayor of this great city here in Little Rock, the Honorable Mayor Frank Scott Jr. Our mayor is the 73rd mayor of Little Rock, now serving in his second term, and the city's first ever popular elected African-American mayor. He has emphasized growth, job creation, and major economic movement, along with student-centered education initiatives and public safety approach that includes social workers that embodied in the police department. He is also a leadership rooted into our community, and he does a great job with that. And his message to young people is consistent. Values are the foundation of the purpose-filled life. The Honorable Mayor Frank Scott Jr. Thank you so much for being here, Mayor, from our students.
Thank you so much.
All right, now the first question for you, Mayor, it's from a student by the name of Brian Daly. Is Brian here? Brian? Well, this is from Brian. Brian's a senior here at ESTEM, and his question is, when you first began speaking publicly as mayor, what personal challenges did you have to overcome, and what did that experience teach you about leadership and purpose?
That's a very interesting question. One of the things I think is interesting for you all to know is, it's going to be hard to believe when I say this, but if you're familiar with the term being an introvert or extrovert, I'm an introvert. And so many people say, how are you an introvert, but you're the mayor of the city of Little Rock? You got to always be outside and engaging and things of that nature. And so the answer is, I don't get my energy from external forces. My energy comes internally. So I have to sit and think through a lot of different things. And many times I can get exhausted if I'm just doing too much. So clearly I'm exhausted all the time. And so as being mayor, I had to learn early on before I became mayor, many people, I used to stutter. And so my very first public speaking engagement was at Fisk University. I was running for a particular position within my fraternity. I went to University of Memphis. And so my fraternity brothers stuck me out to go give a speech, and I stuttered the whole entire time. And I was sweating profusely the whole entire time. And I should not have won. But by the grace of God and some very persuasive fraternity brothers, they made sure that I won, even though I was not a good orator at the time. And so why do I share that? So to this day, I had to learn how to deal with discomfort and the ability of uncomfortability when I wanted to get something done. And so for me, if you ever watch how I speak, I normally do this, because it used to be a point in time where I held safety pins in my hand to calm my nerves in public speaking. And so now I don't have to use the safety pins, but every now and then you'll see me play around with one of my fingers, or I'll pull my ear, but I'm usually doing something with this right hand while the microphone is in my left hand to calm me down. And so as mayor, I had to learn that there are going to be unexpected situations throughout this role, and I have to always be calm in the situation. And even when you're uncomfortable, figure out a way to calm yourself in the discomfort, because that will lead you towards comfort.
Thank you so much for that, Mayor. Next up, we have Dr. Christopher M. Jones. A Pine Bluff native whose story runs from working at Foot Locker to earning 5 degrees from Morehouse and MIT, but staying focused on people. He taught ninth grade algebra, helped start a school in an inner city community, and assistant dean at MIT. He expanded pathways for minority graduate students, and he returned home to lead the Arkansas Regional Innovation Hub, building workforce training with strong job placement. Dr. Jones, we thank you for being here today. For your story, Dakari Harris, a senior, asks, can you share an early obstacle that shaped your character and helped you prepare for the work you do today?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I appreciate it. But let me also say thank you all for being here. Thank you for organizing this. I'm impressed with what you all have been able to pull off already. So you inspire me and encourage me to keep going. In my 2 minutes, there are two. You were good. Yeah, I got to go after this guy. Really, there are a number of things that shape me. One of them is something that both of them I had no control over. One happened super early in my life when I was born. I cannot hear out of my right ear. And my grandmother thought that, she told my mom, that boy can hear, he's just ignoring you. But I couldn't hear. And so I've always had to struggle to lean in and turn. And so similar to the mayor about the things we do, I'll sit on a certain side of people, I'll turn my head a certain way when I need to hear. But the beauty of it is, it has caused me to be intentional about listening. And so one of my superpowers is listening, and that has served me well. The other thing I'll say quickly is that early on, family was always super important to us, but early on I had a lot of loss. My great-grandmother, my grandmother, and then my grandfather died within a 1-month period. And it devastated our family. Not long after that, I had a friend who was shot. Not long after that. So it compounded early. What I learned, though, was that we have to take tragedy and two things. One, find the lesson of healing for ourselves in it. But two, find out how do we take their life and continue it on. And so for me, when I ran for governor, I always told the story of my grandfather, Pawpaw Jesse, because that's my way of continuing his legacy on. And that has helped me.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. And he's also trying to become the first African-American congressman. And I don't think I was supposed to say that, but I did. It's done. It's a fact. Thank you. Congratulations. Our next panelist is Edward O. Walker, Esquire, an assistant. Yeah. He's an assistant. Look, y'all really need to know this guy. You really need to know him, okay? Just so you'll know. We play a song on the radio by Pharrell, and you may have heard it. It's called Feds Watching. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that, okay? I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay, all right, let me move on. He's an assistant U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Arkansas for over 2 decades. His work has focused on prosecuting violent offenders, combating fraud and abuse, and protecting Arkansans and natural resources throughout the environmental and enforcement. He's led complex investigations, coordinated major takedowns, trained fluorescent teams, and served as an adjunct professor in lawyering skills. Mr. Walker, we want to thank you for modeling integrity in public trust. And our first question for you today comes from a 10th grader, Jada Beasley, and she wants to know, when did you first become aware that justice isn't always experienced equally? And how did that awareness shape your path into becoming a federal prosecutor?
All right.
That was deep.
That's a great question. I do first want to deflect a little bit. I want to congratulate, because this is my first time seeing my little brother, who I admire and respect, to being a newlywed. So let's give the mayor a hand. Yeah, I had to do that. And obviously, you've already heard Broadway Joe's plug for Chris Jones. So please acknowledge that as you leave here today, too. But that is a great question. One of the things I'll first say, as human beings, we all have experienced things being perceived, received, or delivered in a fashion that is not intended. Sometimes that often shapes others' ideals of what our purpose is. When you see a group of young men or young women congregating, people will make certain assumptions. I've lived that life. And so as a federal prosecutor, I have been in a unique role to be able to analyze a situation in a neutral manner and provide different insight to the individuals who are actually bringing, we have a phrase called you bag them, we tag them, talking about the interaction between law enforcement and prosecutors. So as I tag people, as it relates to their conduct, I try to do it from a public service mindset and view everyone equal. And it helps me with the discernment, guidance from the Holy Spirit to make the right decision in life.
Thank you for that. Moving on, next we have Journey Taylor. A multi-skilled journalist and anchor who joined THV 11 in January of 2023. She's a Little Rock native who love her journalism began at Little Rock Central High School, where a teacher trusted her to start her own show. She earned her journalism degree from the University of Memphis and expanded her perspective by studying abroad in Germany. Journey's work is about connection, keeping communities informed through storytelling that matters. Rakaya Manning in the 9th grade said, "Your career in journalism has placed you at the intersection of storytelling, truth-seeking, and community accountability. Looking back, what early experiences, whether in your personal life, community, or educational journey, fundamentally shaped your sense of purpose as a communicator and as someone who is committed to telling stories that matter?"
All right. Well, good afternoon, and my 2 minutes starts now. I'm a little long-winded sometimes. Thank you for that question. I think when it comes to storytelling, truth-seeking, it was 3 things. I want to make sure I touch all 3. When it comes to storytelling, truth-seeking, and community accountability, I think it all starts within me. And I think that is something that we've always talked about. My career actually started in Memphis. And with the news cycle that Memphis typically gets, sometimes you have to be desensitized. And I had to learn early, that is not the work that I want to do. I don't want to be disconnected from the work I'm doing daily. And so the biggest challenge has always been serving, doing my job, but also still keeping that emotion within me that these stories are just not headlines. These are not 30-second stories or a minute and 30 seconds. These are stories, for the most part, for the worst day of someone's life. And so I think when it comes to storytelling, communication, and truth-seeking, is that you remember that there's always someone on the other side of that story that you're telling. And if you wouldn't want the story to be told that way about your mother, about yourself, about your family, consider that, because once it's out, it's done. And I think it's been about 8 years since I've started in the business, and that has always been the biggest challenge. And now returning home, that has been something I've always put at the forefront. And I'm in the newsroom daily telling them, I'm not touching it. I'm not doing that story. And so I think when it comes to those 3 things, storytelling, truth-seeking, and community accountability, remember that you have a job to do, but remember also that there are people and things impacted by the work that you do as well.
Thank you, Journey, and I watch you all the time. You have that TV face, so great.
In my radio's program, number 1, 92.3. I listen to you every morning. Hootie hoo! I just had to do that.
All right, our next panelist, I had an opportunity to MC Joyce Rayner's 25th anniversary of the Healing Hearts and Spirits last night. She got some sleep, but I had to get up and go to work early this morning. It's Dr. Rhonda Maddox. She's an award-winning a physician, and an author and a board-certified psychiatrist with more than 2 decades of patient care and experience. Her training spans came through Hendrix College, UAMS, the National Institute of Mental Health, UCLA's Clinical Scholars Program, and a congressional fellowship. From Hollywood studios to Capitol Hill, she has shaped how mental health is understood now, building the case that wellness is strength, not a stigma. Dr. Rhonda Maddox, we thank you for being here. Dr. Maddox, your question comes from a 9th grader, Zion Harris, and the question reads, when did you first recognize that helping others heal was part of your purpose? And how did your early life experience guide you towards psychiatry?
Great question. Actually, my early life experiences should have guided me away from psychiatry. My family did not believe in psychiatry at all. And I remember when I told my father that I wanted to be a psychiatrist, he said, I thought you were going to be a real doctor. And so for the next year, I started doing research stuff, and I said, okay, I'm going to go into dermatology because I wanted my dad to be proud of me. But dermatology was awful for me. It was just not who I was or what I was cut out to be. And so I finally had to say, Dad, you're going to have to get into medical school and go into dermatology. I am going into psychiatry. And it was the best decision that I made. I knew I had an 8th grade teacher, Dinah Funderburg, who is a career orientation teacher, say whatever it is that you would do for free is what you should consider making your life profession. Because whether the money is coming or not, you will do it so well that people will take notice and the money will come. Well, in the 8th grade, everybody was telling me their secrets. I mean, from the unthinkable, the things that were horrible and horrific. And they were sharing those with me because I was discreet. I didn't tell their business. I didn't make fun of them. I was not judgmental. And I have those secrets still, to their grave. Some of them have gone on. And so I realized that was healing for them when they were able to tell things that made them shame, where they felt like they disappointed others. And when they got it out, they were expecting to be slapped or something. And I was just like, wow, how courageous of you, how thoughtful of you. And I would reframe it. And you could see the tears falling. And it was just like, you don't hate me, you don't. And I wasn't giving them the responses that they thought. And it was truly like a burden lifting from their shoulders. And so for me, when I realized that listening to other people and hearing what they've gone through and them trusting me with their secrets, it felt good for me, but it also was the step that began their healing. And that is when I realized that I could get paid for that. I was like, sign me up. So signing up for something that you really enjoy and having the courage to not live your parents' life, because your parents will want you to do whatever that sounds important. And psychiatry didn't sound important to my family, but it's been the most important thing for me.
Thank you for that. Our next panelist is Daz Murray, also known as King Honey. An Emmy-nominated creative director, composer, and entrepreneur, leading at the intersection of creativity, business, and community impact. As founder and creative director of Yellow Velvet Studios, she builds teams and projects using storytelling and human experience, design across education, the media, government, and culture. Her work demonstrates that creativity is not a hobby, it's leadership. Daz, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Your question comes from Jasmine Johnson, a 9th grader. As singer-songwriter, can you share how you built your career, what helped you overcome performance anxiety, and what you learned from major opportunities working with Tyler Perry that students can apply to their own dreams?
Okay, I'm trying to feel like you, Journey. Thank you. Great question, Jasmine. First of all, one, how I built my career was definitely with intent. And so that meant figuring out what was important to me, much like you mentioned, Doctor. Figuring out what felt true to who I was and the work that I wanted to do. And so really, it started out for me trying a bunch of stuff. Like I've had a ton of odd jobs, from painting houses to teaching to just almost anything legally that you can think of. Until I got to music. And oftentimes when people think of performance, it's like you're either this mega star like Beyonce or Michael Jackson or nothing at all. But there are so many avenues and outlets within entertainment and within a creative industry that you can pursue, whether you're interested in business or if you love numbers, you can pursue that within the entertainment realm. And so it was understanding that, overcoming performance anxiety. I'm still working on that. I am terribly shy. I'm shaking right now, but it's important to know what your goal is and focus on that, knowing that, okay, this is my marker, and putting your eyes on the prize for that. And what I've learned from major opportunities working with people like Tyler Perry, that you can apply to your own dreams, is to go after it. Be intentional about letting people know what you want to do, because you never know who's connected to who. And then showing up in spaces in excellence, doing your best every time, whether it's for 100 people, one person, or 1,000 people, always putting your best foot forward, because again, you never know who's in the room or who's connected to your next step in your journey.
All right. Thanks, Daz. Fantastic. Now you have heard the stories. Now we're going to talk about their strengths. This is round 2. And let me thank our panelists again for keeping all of our 2-minute rule in place, because the boss is right there. She got a timer on, but okay. Here we go. Round 2, and we start with the Honorable Mayor Frank Scott Jr. And this question comes from a senior here at East End by the name of John Johnson. If he had an H in there, he'd be famous like the other one. But if students here today want to build the kind of strength that's needed to lead a city one day, what should they start developing right now?
I think first and foremost, you have to understand it's okay to be different. Life will tell you that that's not, but being different makes you, and you leverage your own individual strengths to pursue your happiness, to pursue your service towards others. Secondly, you have to have the strength of empathy to truly be concerned and have love towards all people, no matter what they look like, where they come from, the God that they serve, and the person that they love. Having that empathy allows love to be personified in real time. And so those two things, I think, really helps you become the next mayor, governor, CEO, founder, creator. And what you'll find, anyone who's been in leadership, they've been okay being different, and that they've shown some sort of empathy as they've moved forward.
Dr. Christopher Jones. Morgan Howard, a 12th grader, wants to know about your strength. As a scientist and community leader, what inner qualities helped you keep going when the work felt difficult, or when people doubted you?
Yeah. Y'all are asking some amazing questions. There are a number of things that fuel me, and I'll just say a couple. One is knowing that I could slightly change the trajectory of someone's life. And as a physicist, right, so I've helped build rockets to space. And if you go and adjust it just a 1/10 of a degree early on, then later on it could end up on a whole different planet. And so for me, that knowing that if I work a little bit harder and show up in one more space and have one more conversation, it could be that slight edge to put somebody in a whole new stratosphere later. And the other thing is a foundational belief that God created me for a purpose. And that God laid, like a video game, you travel life and you pick up coins and you pick up gadgets, and he's put everything I need in place along my journey for life. And I have to remind myself of that, to say I have everything I need. As long as I stay in his flow, I'm okay. That's what keeps me going.
All right. Dropping knowledge today, Chris. Thank you. All right, back to Mr. Walker. And this question comes from Kalita Martin. She's a junior. And her question is, what keeps you grounded and committed to fairness, especially knowing how serious the consequences can be if a mistake is made? I want to hear this.
Well, for some reason, some individuals here believe that prosecutors are not fair. No, this kind of connects to things that have previously been said. Oh, pull this mic. There we go. We want to be heard. All right. It's connected to, obviously, my faith and belief. I also believe, too, that for me to be grounded, I have to keep a neutral view and examine everything on a case-by-case basis. I'm very intentional about it. I don't believe in accidents. I believe that everything happens for a reason, and those reasons are opportunities to make things better. I'm somewhat of an optimist. And so when I look at a situation and what keeps me grounded and fair is I go from a neutral perspective. I analyze every side of it. And before I make any judgment call or any decision, I want to make sure that I've had all of the data inputted before I make a final judgment call. And really, I stick to the facts. Every case is a new case. Every investigation is a new investigation. I have a systematic way of doing things, and it starts out with a global view, and I narrow it down. Just like our physicist said, one little thing can change the trajectory of how the outcome will be. So I try to be very bland, and I take myself out of it. And I just look at it, apply the teaching, the way the law should be analyzed to the facts of the case. And, there is some human element that I consider as well. We can talk about that offline.
Thank you so much for that. Ms. Taylor, Olive Johnson, a sophomore, asks, every creative journey includes seasons of doubt and uncertainty. How did you navigate those moments, and what helped you to keep going?
Absolutely. I want to give you just a small background, 20 seconds. As you remember, I'm from Little Rock, born and raised, went to school in Memphis, and my first market in news was in Memphis. And when it was time for me to go to my second market, it was in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And so I had to cover stories in an area that is heavily agriculture, farming. And this was a season that was very tough for me because I'm a know-it-all. And so when I get there, I'm doing stories and I'm thinking I'm doing a great job. But people emailed, called, and said, hey, you're missing the mark. And that was a nice way to say it. Other people called and said, she's just not smart. She just doesn't get it. This is my first time learning about dicamba. First time learning about combines. I'm not used to tractors or anything. I was calling tractors the wrong name. And I remember taking that moment saying, like, maybe this isn't for me. And maybe I should get out of this business. I mean, people are telling me I'm not good, and really sticking to that. Even had one person say that I was a diversity hire. And so it can be challenging, but I think it took a moment for me to really understand that although I think that I'm doing a good job, it is important to really listen to who's on the other side of that story, as I mentioned the first question, and to remember that you have to embrace where you are and what season that you're in. And instead of me coming in with the lens of, I'm from Little Rock, I'm from the capital. I went to Memphis. I lived in Memphis. I needed to embrace the area that I was in and really learn. And once I really started to immerse myself, instead of just seeing it as a job, but like actually be a community member and actually learn, I think that's when my creativity not only got better, but I was a little more understanding about the experience that I was living. And I think with news, no matter where you live, I'm granted the beautiful opportunity to be back home. And a lot of people don't get that opportunity. So I know a little bit more because these streets raised me. I'm from this area, but being in environments where you're not really familiar where you are, is important that you embrace not only the people, but the things and their culture and really learn from that.
Yeah. I don't know, for some reason or other, I just thought of Green Acres when you said a city girl on a farm. I'm sorry. All right, Dr. Maddox. I'm talking over the students' head. They don't know about Green Acres, huh? Okay, all right, my bad, my bad. Okay, all right, Dr. Maddox, on your strength. Your question comes from a sophomore by the name of Danny Walker. Her question reads like this. She says, as a psychiatrist, how do you ensure that patients from all communities feel heard and respected? And how do you maintain your own mental strength in a demanding healthcare environment?
Danny, that's a great question. And I'm going to start with my why rather than my how. I was raised by a single mother, and I imagine some bad stuff must have happened to her because she wanted me to go wherever she was. She didn't want to leave me with anyone. And that was her way of protecting me from whatever she thought might happen to me. But what that meant was that I didn't have a child's place. If you all grew up in my age, they'll say, stay in a child's place. Well, I didn't have a child's place because I went with her. So wherever she went, I went. And that meant that after they got liquored up, they forgot I was around. And I heard a whole lot of stuff that was not a child's place. But I will say my mother and her friends, who were some of the most unlikely saviors, and my family, some of the most unlikely saviors, raised me. So the bootleggers took credit for my success. They would say, if I got an A, they'd give me $1 for it. If I got a B, my mother gave me a whooping for it. So I had a whole lot of incentive to make all A's. But it meant that other people would look at people who were gamblers or bootleggers or what have you, and they would think bad things about them. But I'd actually heard their stories. So I didn't see things as black and white. I saw these as people who had been impacted in some traumatic way, and now we're looking at that. So when I had an opportunity and I would hear people talk about a bad parent or a bad this or a bad that, I recognized that there were some things that we might have missed out on, and I would inquire. And as I started to hear people's stories, I realized we can't project what we think people should live like. So for me, it was really important for people to hear those who were minorities, those who were single parents, those who had things going on. It was important to hear their story. The other piece is, how do I maintain my mental strength in a demanding healthcare environment? First off, I do work that fulfills me, that feeds me, and I do it in a way that works for me. I cannot see patients every 15 minutes like other doctors do. So I see patients every 30 minutes for med management and then every hour for new patient appointments. And I see the populations that are important to me. So for the last 3 years, I worked in detention centers and I learned their stories. And I do things that bring me joy. I laugh a lot, I pray a lot, and I journal a lot. Thank you for that question.
Let me get there. Okay. Miss Murray, Mallory Tanner, a 12th grader, said, looking back on your journey, what habits or mindset shifts were most critical in turning creative ideas into tangible social and personal impact?
Ooh, that's a great question. 2 things. So one was learning to quiet the noise. There's so much that we take in daily, from people at school, work, home, to social media, to the news, to whatever it is. And so being able to find a space where you can really center yourself and hear from spirit, God, whomever you draw from or wherever you draw from internally. So that quieting the noise was important. And 2, as a creative, learning that an idea alone was not enough. And so that meant figuring out an execution process. So what do I do after I have this grand idea or bright song or beautiful piece or script? What do I do? What's my plan after having that? Because a lot of people have great ideas, but you need a vehicle for that idea. So figuring out how whatever industry work that you want to go into, whether that's television or music or fashion, figuring out what the people who are making decisions in those spaces, what they look for. Learning to speak their language, learning to present your idea in a way that they can understand. And so I would say, maybe that's a short answer, but quieting the noise and then finding a vehicle for your idea after you have that. The idea alone is not enough.
Thanks, Daz. And you're absolutely right. There are so many more distractions these days than there were when the mayor was growing up. But anyway. All right, Mayor. Our next and final question now. Our final question now. Mayor, it's for you. And this is round 3. So this is the final round for everyone. And I've got some closing remarks coming up, but this comes from Chloe Harris, Mayor, a junior here at East M. And her question reads like this. When your time in office is complete, what impact do you hope the minority communities will say your leadership had on their lives?
My internal why as mayor has always been to unite, grow, and transform the city of Little Rock in such a way that we've had an extreme focus on the entire community, but special attention towards historically unserved, underserved, and forgotten communities. From whence I come from, being south of 630, east of I-30, knowing that if that focus will uplift and elevate the entire city as a whole. And so the goal for our administration is for Little Rock to truly be a catalyst for the New South, to understand in many confines that the South is considered has a negative connotation to it. And we have historical facts that bring that negativity, but understanding that no matter who you are, that in Little Rock, whether you are from College Station or Chenal Valley, Petaway or Pleasant Valley, that you will be seen, you will be heard, you will be felt, you will be valued. And we want that to be our legacy because we are a melting pot here in Little Rock, and we have to elevate with the diversity that we have. And so when the time comes, hopefully it's no time soon, that impact is that minority communities and the communities at large understand that we're in this together. And through that togetherness, we will move forward and we will tear down walls of racism, sexism, and any other ism that does not promote unity, growth, and transformation.
Thank you for that. Dr. Christopher Brooklyn Carter, a sophomore, said legacy is about the systems and opportunities we leave behind. Whether it's expanding access to innovation, improving educational quality, or building a bigger table of opportunity for all of Arkansas. What do you want to be remembered for? And how do you hope your life's work will continue to open doors for young leaders long after today?
Right. Again, just amazing questions. You know, 3 things. One, I really want to be remembered. I'm a girl dad. I have 3 girls, 16, 13, and 9 right now. I want to be remembered as someone who literally gave every ounce of his life for them to become who God created them to be. Two, at some point I want to retire from all this stuff and be a mad scientist in the lab. It just like I love science, so I just want to be in a lab for hours on end and create and make stuff. But the thing that really drives me, and this is three, is that because people have given so much to me. You know, I grew up in Pine Bluff. We didn't have a lot. We saw many a months where there were days left in the month and money was gone, like food stamps. You get a little nervous when you get to the checkout counter because not sure if you got enough. But I always had people that poured into me. And I always had people that helped me to see that I could be who God created me to be. So what I want my legacy to be, I think my superpower is helping people realize their potential. And in whatever way I can, I want my legacy to be that he helped us realize our potential.
Thanks, Chris. And our final question for Mr. Walker, it comes from Jada Webb, a senior at East End, and her question is, when history reflects on your service, what standard of justice do you hope your career helped to strengthen or protect?
Very good question.
Deep questions.
Yes, great question from a senior. Great question from a senior, and I keep reminded by the politician that I'm speaking to the group. I want my legacy or standard of justice that I'm measured by is the same way that our Creator measures us, to treat each other as we'd want to be treated and to love everyone. And everything that I do, that's the underwriting goal, is to be the type of person that He is proud of.
Thank you. Moving on. Ms. Taylor, Kelton Scales, a 12th grader, wants to know about your legacy. With so much information and opinions circulating today, why is journalistic independence and integrity so important? And what role does it play in protecting truth and public trust? That's a great question.
I feel like I'm still getting started in this business, but if I could really put a nail on two things, responsibility and doing the right thing is truly important to me. I think it's funny to me that, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you are not on Facebook. I don't think a lot of the high schoolers are on Facebook. Are y'all on Facebook? Yes? Okay, just a little bit. I gotta hurry up. Okay. Well, I just want to give this example. There's a page on Facebook that is getting more clicks, more views, more interaction and comments, reporting news than we do, than a lot of the news stations locally. And I know a lot of you guys know what page that is, right? All right. And so the only thing that I will say as professionally as I can, there's a lack of responsibility. Okay. And so in a business with news, you have to be responsible. Once it is sent, once it is said, you cannot take it back. You cannot take it back. And so if I can share anything with you guys, even if you do not go into news, just remember to always do the right thing. Remember who it impacts, especially if it impacts you, okay? Remember yourself and how this will be remembered in 2 to 3 years. And one thing a lot of people don't know about news is a lot of us are on contracts. A lot of us are on in the cities for 2 to 3 years. So a lot of people think we have a lot of turnaround, and that's really not the case. We are on contracts. So when you're coming into cities, into environments, remember what your job is. Remember to be responsible. Have some ethics. Have some morals, okay? I think that is the biggest thing when I think about my legacy and how I want to be remembered, is that I cared, that I really cared, okay? And so for anybody, I actually talked to someone back there who said they want to go into news. Just remember that it's so easy to click send and get the most views and likes for the week, but there is going to be responsibility on the back end, and it will come back to you if you do not do the right thing.
All right. Thank you, Journey. And our final question for Dr. Maddox. Comes from Layton Hill. He's a junior at EastM. And his question reads, beyond diagnosis and treatment plans, your work influences how individuals and families understand themselves. When you think about your legacy, how do you hope your work will shift the way communities, especially communities of color, view mental health, emotional wellness, and seeking help?
Layton, that's an excellent question. When I got into psychiatry, I went because I was interested in clinical care. I didn't see myself as a politician. I didn't see myself as a media person, but politics was impacting my business. It impacted whether they got Medicare, whether they got Medicaid. And so in 2013, I packed up my bags and I went to DC and I worked for Congressman John Dingell. You all don't know him, but he is a person who is credited with authoring the House version of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act that many of you know as Obamacare. For me, it was important that one of the essential benefits be mental health so that you could get treatment regardless. So as they were rolling it out, I had the audacity to take to take a vacation during that time. And Mr. Dingell said, oh, no, you won't. And I was there as his policy advisor. Rewind. Media. You're hearing me talk not about psychiatry, what's happening in the office. I did a commercial that I almost didn't do. And the commercial went like this. My name is Dr. Rhonda Maddox. I'm a resident physician in psychiatry. I didn't choose psychiatry. I was born into it. When my mother was pregnant with me, she had such severe depression that she attempted suicide. We lived. Now I devote my life to preventing the tragedy of suicide. I was intending to go into research. I did that commercial and people came out of the woodworks telling me their stories. And I realized how media could impact people's perception. And so I went to Hollywood and I worked on shows like 90210, ER, different things. And one of the shows, Off the Rails, hit more than 1 million people and they went to SAMHSA to look up what bipolar disorder was. And I realized I had to get out of the hospital, the clinic room, and do politics, and I don't like politics, it sucks, and do media. I kind of don't like media either, but it really, really helps change the world.
Our last question for today, for Ms. Murray. Kirsten Jones, a senior, said, as someone who creates stories for a living and builds platforms for others, legacy may feel different for you than it does for someone in politics or law. Beyond awards, credits, and titles, what do you hope people, especially young creative and leaders, remember about you and the way that you influence your voice and your platform?
Thank you for that question. I believe what I hope is remembered most is authenticity. I urge you to figure out what is true to you. Take that time, talk to people that you trust, build an advisory committee. Again, people that you trust, people that you know value your mind and your thought, or what we call IP, your intellectual property, and really, really go inward. Ask yourself, how do I feel? Am I proud of this work when I put this out? Why am I doing this? Figuring out your why, but be authentic in that. If you find yourself seeing someone do something and you say, I want to do the exact thing, it's already done. It's already done. So doing work that is unique and special to you, because I truly believe we're placed here for that purpose. Each one of us has a unique mission. And when we start to copy the other, we throw off the algorithm. We need what you have inside. And so I hope that I leave anyone here and beyond with that message of authenticity.
Fantastic, Daz. Well, as the late Michael Jackson would say, this is it. It's about time to go. The few words in closing, this is a significant moment, and we're talking to the students now. This is a significant moment, students. Every person on this stage is living proof of the life-altering power of preparation. Being prepared. Whether we're talking about the mayor, our scientist, our attorney, our doctor, our journalist, or our producer, they've all chosen a different journey, yet they've made the same bold decision to own their stories. Students, don't be misled by this connection. It's not some kind of magic. It's courage. Reach out, shake hands, send emails, ask questions, follow up relentlessly, like Ms. Griffin. Relentlessly, let me say that again. Mayor know what I'm talking about. Relentlessly, persistently. Hey, your lived experiences are not hurdles. They're your guides. And if you commit to preparation, this stage won't intimidate you. One day it will honor you and you'll be sitting in these chairs. Lead with unwavering purpose and carry forward the legacy. We'll be waiting for you at the pinnacle. Thank you all for being here today. Another big round of applause, please. Give our panelists another big round of applause. And thank you, Ms. Griffin. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna say like 5 words, not many words. I'm Jana Young. I'm the director of Eastham High School. So let me say thank you so much for coming tonight or today and chatting with our kids. And let me talk a little bit about why I'm impressed, because I think you guys are all impressive and I think we can all agree on the impressiveness that is sitting on the stage, right? Yes, sir. I think that sometimes it's easy to talk about how great we are and all the great things we've done. And do you know what I heard today? Just love of what they do and the reasons they do it, and walking with integrity every single day. That's what I heard over and over and over again. So thank you for sharing that with our kids, because I think that success is wonderful and it's fantastic, but being a great person, that's the thing. That's the thing. So thank you for coming and joining us. We're gonna stay still while they exit. And then I have another couple of people talking to you before we all leave, but thank you again for coming today this afternoon.
You started to make a good job. Good job, baby. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, of course. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Are you ready? All right, let's come on up. I'm gonna let you talk about your program.
All right, hi. Can y'all hear me okay? How's everybody? Good. Wow, right? I was like taking notes in the back. My name is Karen Strawn. I saw some of you as y'all were coming in. I am the Education Programs Manager here at the Clinton Foundation. And it is our extreme honor to have been able to partner with eSTEM on this program. Raise your hand if this is your first time in the building. Awesome. Great. Well, I hope it is not the last. I hope it's the first of many. We are scheming for some new program opportunities as well. And just so excited that you're our new neighbors. We really want you to see this as your home and an extension of your campus. I just wanted to talk very briefly. Know y'all need to get back to school and head home. And weekend, are y'all ready? I am ready. What a perfect way to end the Friday, like the week, right? In the Friday. But I did want to just mention a couple of things very quickly while y'all are all here. This panel was about leading with purpose, right? And so a couple of things that we have going on for high school students that are connected to leadership. One is anyone working on community service learning, maybe? Do y'all have a requirement? Okay. All right. Well, if you're not, if you're like, well, kind of. So 75 hours required to graduate, right? Raise your hand if you're a 9th grader. 10th, 11th, 12th. All right. Y'all still got to get those hours in. We are having on March 7th, I'm going to be sharing with Principal Young and Miss Griffin. We are having here in this very room a community service learning fair. We already have 12 organizations confirmed. We might have up to 15. They all offer community service for high school students. And so the idea is it's 10 to 1. You can just drop in. You can meet with them, learn about what they do, learn about what they offer. You can go ahead and sign up with them. The idea is to make it super easy for you, one-stop shop. So that's going to be March 7th, not this weekend, but the next weekend, Saturday, 10 to 1 in this space. It is free. You don't need to register. Just come on. The other thing is, if you are really excited about service or engaging in the community and you're not sure, like you really want to take a next step, you have some ideas, you see need in your community, you see need in your school, you see need in your neighborhood, and you're not sure what to do with it, we have a program called the Student Presidential Leaders Program, or SPLS. It is for rising 9th through 12th graders. So if you are a 10th grader, raise your hand again. 11th, 12th, you all are eligible to apply for this. If you are a senior, please raise your hand. Congratulations, you're going on to your next chapter. So soon. But for SPLS, I do have flyers I'm going to again send back just because I know we need to get moving. But I know in the room, Silas, would you raise your hand, please? Y'all know Silas? Okay, now you do. So Silas was a Student Presidential Leaders Scholar, not this current year, but last year he completed the program. It's a 1-year program, completely free. Starts with a retreat this summer. It's all about leadership, building communication skills, discussion, conversation, problem solving. But then throughout the course of the year, you take that idea or you see a need and you develop a community action project from it. So we walk you through talking to people who would be affected, interviewing experts like these on the stage. And it's all about something you're interested in, right? So we want you to take power over that, like feeling invested. Not just something to check a box, but something you care about. And we meet throughout the year, and then we have a presentation at the end. If you have questions about this program and you are interested in this program, there is no one better to talk to than someone who's participated in the program. One of them being Silas. And then Malia, I think, who's a student volunteer. Is Malia back in the room? I think Malia's helping with our guest speakers. She is a current SPLS student. So she's going to be completing her project in April. So please ask them if you have any questions. Again, just a great opportunity to get engaged. You also get community service learning hours for that. And our applications open March 1st. So y'all are hearing about it before anybody else. All right. Thank you so much. We can't wait to see you back at the Clinton Center.
Jump up here. Thanks for having me today. My name is Brian Wolverton. I'm Director of Sales with the Arkansas Symphony, and that's that building right there. It's exactly halfway in between there and there. That's the Arkansas Symphony headquarters, and I came by to say, howdy, neighbor. Hey, neighbor. And also to let you know that at the Arkansas Symphony, individuals 18 and under get in free to most of our concerts. That's right, you get a free ticket, you get a free ticket, you get a free ticket, you get a free ticket. And I was going to tell you more about Banco ZK Kids Tickets, a super exciting event that we have coming up. Symphonic Sci-Fi, March 14th and 15th at the Robinson Center. This concert will be guest conducted by legendary trumpeter Herb Smith. Herb recently conducted and curated Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra brass performance of Copland's Fanfare for the Common Man at a Black Lives Matter rally and at a concert honoring Harriet Tubman. This concert united the city of Rochester, the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra, and neighborhood churches in honor of Tubman's bicentennial celebration. This concert will also feature performances by the Flander Smith University Choir. Selections on this concert come from popular television and film franchises such as Star Wars, Star Trek, Back to the Future, and Avatar. Also, at the Arkansas Symphony, we also have frequent volunteer opportunities. We're always looking for friendly individuals who assist us at our events, at our main stage concerts at the Robinson, and our events next door, such as the River Rhapsodies concerts and our Juneteenth concert on June 18th. For more information about free kids tickets, upcoming events, find us at the web at arkansasymphony.org or email us at info@arkansasymphony.org. You can call at 1761, excuse me, or you can simply just stop by. We are radically welcoming. The door is open in there. There's a Steinway piano in the lobby that's open to the public. People come play it all the time. Come check it out. Howdy, neighbor. Thank you for having me today, and enjoy the rest of yours.
Okay, let me tell you that I'm super duper 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 proud of you. I think that you guys behaved phenomenally. I think you guys were engaged. I love the questions. I hope that you took something away from today. That would be my recommendation, is just to take a second, reflect. What's one thing that you can take from today that makes you better than you were before you came in, okay? We're gonna exit from the back of the room first. So if you are in, let's say, the back 3 rows, if you will stand, and then just turn around and look, and as the row behind you is empty, you can stand and exit. We're good. Oh yes, will you please make sure that you clean up after yourself and you take your program. Oh, Jarrett's gonna help us. Jarrett, you're gonna direct the rows? Thank you.